Welcome to another episode of the podcast Profits Unleashed podcast, where we empower other coaches to really get their message out there to those who need to hear it. Now, today, I'm really excited to chat with Kanika Vasudeva. Now, she is an energy expansion coach and a bold expansion mentor who helps visionary leaders and coaches and entrepreneurs grow their wealth, grow their visibility and impact. She helps them do this without burning out or sacrificing their joy or their relationships or their energy. She has this amazing way of combining energetic clearing with intuitive coaching and practical strategies to help people just clear out what is holding them back and really open up to receiving more confidence, more abundance, more freedom. And our clients don't just get quick wins, they actually embody their next level and create lasting results. So, if you've been feeling like you're constantly hustling, but you're not expanding, then this episode is really going to help you shift that. So, let's dive in. Welcome to the show, Kanika.
Thanks a lot, Karen. I'm so glad to be here.
So let's start. What may help you decide to help coaches grow without having the hustle, I suppose, if you like?
I think it came from my journey, but even before, as I stepped in, I came out from a corporate job. I was doing really well, and I just kept getting this calling that I have to step into this, I have to help. And I would say to people, my parents, my friends at the time, and I would tell them that this is just something bigger than me. I cannot let it go. And so I fully stepped in and became a coach. And for me, my biggest joy was always just seeing everybody expand and grow. And I think this is the sweet spot that I've found where if I help new business owners because they're struggling with so much, there's the website to be done, there's Instagram, there's LinkedIn, there's so many things, the offers, the funnels, the strategy pivots, and so on that they've got to navigate through. And they often feel very overwhelmed. They start with passion. It happened with me as well. You start with passion, and then it's like, gosh, I've just got all of this work. And maybe I was better at the job because it's not fulfilling yet, or it's very hard. I'm not finding those clients. So it's that hard space where you want to serve the world. You want to make the world a better place, but it's like it's depleting your energy. So it just naturally became that place where I love offering help and seeing my clients expand. My own journeys helped a lot. I've also worked with a lot of coaches and then now worked with a lot of other clients, helping them get their wins and make that transformation. Because once you start feeling the wins, once you start seeing them, touching them, having them, then you're empowered again and then you're fueled up again and you'll go out and you'll do more. But it's more about satisfying the creatress in you, giving you the fuel and not operating from energy lack, but energy abundance because that attracts.
Love that. And it is so difficult because a lot of people, when they first start out, like you said, they're passionate because they want to do this thing that they want to help people with, but they might not really like or enjoy doing all the other parts of the business these are things that need to get done, right, to build a business. And not everybody is a marketer, a salesperson, a designer, graphic designer. And so all these extra things, yes, of course it can feel overwhelming. And until people get to the space where they can maybe outsource some of those things to people that it is their passion, which obviously is the best way. But I get it. When people are starting out, you've got to wear all these different hats to get started, unless you've got some investment behind you so that you can start your business by outsourcing all the other stuff. It's very difficult, isn't it? And you're right, it does drain people's energy. because really their passion lies in doing the thing that they actually want to do. But they've got to get there, haven't they?
Correct. And that's more than, yeah, that is the case. A lot of times we're spinning wheels, though. We might be doing actions, but not all actions are required actions. So I always say awareness and then inspired action. And what I mean by awareness, especially true for people who are stepping in because they have a calling, because it feels like, gosh, I need to do this. Know that if you have an idea, first of all, your idea is bigger than you. Your idea came in because something wanted to be birthed through you. Think of a mom when she gets pregnant, right? If we did not know it would take 9 months and the baby just came in and she doesn't know, and every day she's going, the baby's not out yet, and the baby's not out yet, and I don't know the process. How does that work? But you've got to trust. We can go through the whole baby making process because we know it takes this amount of time. The first thing I ask, especially all the intuitive people to tune into, is their calling. Because if there is that calling, it is bigger than you, tune into it. Oftentimes, it will tell you very clearly what it wants you to do first. And that might be not what the marketing gurus say. It might be something very different for you, but you'll be surprised. It's going to be something very aligned to you, does not feel outside your scope, stretches you a little bit, but it's your jam, it's your thing. The more you align yourself with your calling, like the river that you're meant to flow in, the easier it will be. But we make entrepreneurship difficult because we're almost swimming opposite upstream. The river has its flow, and we go, but I know this, or this guru said this, so I should do this. So we're stopping the flow.
There be the problem, because there's so much information out there, and quite often it's all conflicting anyway, because this person is saying, do it my way, because that's their way. Somebody else is saying, no, do it this way, because that's worked for them. And many people feel, and they feel that they should be doing it, rather than what you just said earlier about trusting yourself, actually tuning in and listening to what is right for you. Because what is right for all of these people may be perfectly right for them, but it might not be right for you. And there are so many, there's not one road, right, that's going to get you there. There's loads of different roads that you can take, and you've got to find what is the right way for the way you are. Like, you're guesting on a podcast as a way to get your message out there, which is perfect. Not everybody will feel confident enough or don't want to be on camera, which is fine. Some people do audio, you don't have to. Others maybe want to write. That's their genius zone. So yes, blogging would be right for them. And there's just so many different ways but everybody feels that they should be doing everything rather than listening. So you must have a process. How do you get people to even trust their intuition? Because that's quite a big step, isn't it? We've come away from that because we're listening to outside voices, outside advice, and quite often we shut off that intuitive knowing. So how do you get people to do that?
Yeah, so I am an intuitive coach and I'm a practical coach. I am an engineer and an MBA by background. I have done projects all my life. So I know the nitty-gritties of doing things. Let's say the complexity of stuff does not overwhelm me as much as it would a lot of other people. And I can simplify that and tell you in the bite size that you need to do. But before I get there, I look at it energetically. And energetically, I have been like learning about energy healing, a lot of other modalities. I tap into the Akashic records as well. And I've been doing that for about 8+ years. So the first journey that I take my clients to is sitting in a space with them where I am clearing up the energetic fog for them so that they're able to be a lot more clearer. We set their business intention. What is it that they need to do? We tune into the inner creator or creatress and see what does this creator or creatress want, because often it can be different than what you are told. I'll give you examples. I'll actually share my own example. So when I started out, and this is how this whole methodology formed for me, a few months in, I started because I was really getting this calling that I needed to do this. And a few months in, I'm not really feeling the business flow as such. Work is good, clients love me, but the flow wasn't really happening. And I'm like, what is this? Like, I stepped into my calling. Things should have been easier than that, but it was anything but. And so I thought, okay, I'll tune in and see what is happening with me. I looked at my business, and she wanted, like, very clearly showed me with the podcast. It wasn't on my agenda. It wasn't that this is what I needed to do. And so I did that. And for a while, I hid there too, because I was meant to grow there. But I hid, as in I started first with meditations, not going to show my face, then got comfortable with that, but then tuned into her again. And I said, look, now I'm doing this, but it's still not working. Like, where's the promise on the other hand? And then the answer I got was, okay, just tune in and start a summit. But by that time, because I was developing my relationship with business, the consciousness of my business, I was building that so much. I had so much trust in it that I knew nothing about starting a summit. And I went ahead and I started my summit. I put it out literally the way I wanted to do it, like from a very channeled place. I got all the speakers that I wanted to get there, but that whole process of networking, connecting, that started the flow for me. Now, I haven't heard anybody saying that this is what you do and this is how your business flourishes. They might say that's a good way of building your emails. But for me, that happened to start the flow with my business. And it's at a place where I'm operating from overflow, feeling nourished every day. So that's when I start with my clients as well. I'll first tune into their business. What is their business wanting them to do? What are the first steps? Sometimes we might not even start with a website at all, because you see the clients coming in, you see that inflow, because it's important to be motivated. It keeps your cup full. You can give from a full cup. Otherwise, you drain out. So website is not always required. An Instagram account, LinkedIn, like all of that stuff is not required. You do what is in alignment with you. And you take step by step, because as you keep going, your capacity grows. Then you'll do more things if you need that. But you can take a breath, step back, tune into your business, and do those little steps. You don't need to do 1,000.
Perfect. Love that advice. And funny enough, that's how I'm podcasting, through an online summit. I put on an online summit during COVID, so 5 years ago. And I was interviewing coaches from a physical perspective, a mental perspective, and a spiritual perspective. And I loved the process. It was my first one. I hadn't done it before, and I loved the process. And I was approached by a radio station and offered a radio show. And at the time, I didn't know what I was doing, but I was like, I'm enjoying doing it. I'll just say yes. And then, but radio is limited. And so then I launched the podcast because I already had the radio show. And that's how I've evolved through. That was that starting point. And realizing, yeah, you've got to follow your passion. If I hadn't have enjoyed the process, I would have said no to the radio station, right? The radio station offer. But I so agree. When you do step in and you listen to that little inner voice, it's amazing what doors open. And the next step is showed to you, if you like, sometimes. Yeah, I didn't have the plan. If you told me 6 years ago you're going to launch a podcast, I would have said, what? So I love that. So many people do feel stuck. This is true. There's so many coaches out there that they are hustling hard. They're doing what they feel is the right thing, and they're not quite getting there. What do you think are the most common things as to why they are so stuck?
So, first of all, when they're trying to do things that they feel they should do, because you feel you are the business owner. And yes, you're the business owner, but I would suggest that perhaps you are not the business owner. Maybe you are the business co creator. The co creation is happening with the business consciousness. Talk to it, see what's working because it will want to go a certain way. If I boil that down, let's take examples. Let's say if your soul really came down to explore animals, to work with animals, and that was its agenda. It really wanted to do that. That would sing and dance for you very quickly. But let's say if you were in another field and you were not really wanting to work with animals, you wanted to be perhaps a little bit more comfortable, or something else was catching your attention because your friend was doing it and you invested there. If your purpose is to work with animals, that is what your soul wants. That's where the river flow is going. For example, if I look at me, and I love parents, I love helping kids. That is just a genuine passion that I have. And as much as I tried doing it, not that I don't have parents who I work with and who have benefited, but it's not been that gold pot. That goal, the doors just opened the minute I started stepping into helping other people expand, other clients expand, have more money, visibility, because that is just literally what my soul wanted. And it's almost been like an explosion. Whereas when I was in the older self, or me trying to drive my business and going, this is the direction I want to go in, it was a lot harder. So, see what is the direction coming in. Sometimes you'll hear that from other prospective leads who'll tell you something. There might be people who come and ask you, are you doing this? And you might go, no. But listen to those nudges, because those nudges are universe's way of telling you this is what you need to do. That's the most common thing that I find. You need to be in the right space. And if you are in the right space, a lot of the things will start aligning magically because you are in the flow, you are ready to receive. Most likely, if you are finding that you are stuck, it's because you are in the wrong place. You're actually in your way.
I think that is so powerful, because we can look around and think, oh, it's not working because of this, it's not working because of that. And actually, the only reason it's not working is because you need to get out of your own way. I love that. It is. And that's so empowering, because you can't control the external stuff. You can't, you've got no control of the Facebook algorithm or whatever. You've got no control of it. It's all down to you. It's always down to you, isn't it? And when we accept that, it's actually really, it makes it easier. And it's empowering, because you can only change yourself. You can't change anybody else.
Yes, it is so liberating. It is so liberating. I find clients will come to me sometimes and they're like I was working with another client and she is a decluttering person, like amazing with her work and very good, very talented. You could give her a very super messy house with all sorts of hoardings and that will not overwhelm her. But she's super good in organizing everything. And yet, when we looked at her and I was seeing why things are not working for her, we found that she wasn't telling her story too much. And she needed to tell the story, because when people declutter, then people are actually also releasing the emotions, they're letting go of their old layers. And if she decluttered, just that would be enough for people to be able to relate to her and knock on her door. Otherwise, she was too perfect for people who felt that it was very heavy for them. Sometimes it's just very small, tiny tweaks and it changes everything.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. This is why podcasting is such a great platform for doing exactly that. It's about strategic storytelling. And I think in past years, people are afraid to show their vulnerability, because all these pictures of people with a Lamborghini or a big house, and it's all fake. I'm sure it's not all fake, but a lot of it, don't believe everything. But also, like you say, people, there will be a disconnect. If you want to help people, you need to be able to resonate with those people and show them that you've overcome this stage too, because then people are going to believe that you can help them because, well, you're going through the same thing that they are. And I think in the past, people were almost ashamed to talk about their losses or, the low times. But I think that is the inspiration more than, look at me, look at me, look at me up here. It doesn't work
Totally.
anymore. It doesn't
And
work.
actually, how liberating is it that we do not need to be perfect? We do not need to be perfect. Your imperfection is divine. It's needed. We think it's imperfect, but I don't think that consciousness actually views it that way. We are divine. So if we could just own that power in us and we could just go, hey, heck, this is who I am and absolutely how I am. I'm gorgeous. I'm the queen. I claim my space. You really attract from that space as well. When you're not attracting clients outside, whether that is clients, whether that is your relationships, I'm encouraging you to just look at yourself inside and allow yourself to accept yourself fully, to be yourself fully. You permit yourself to receive love. I guarantee it will flow.
What I picked up from there, the key word is the allowing. And I think that really is one thing that people struggle. It's almost like they're trying to, and look, I've done it myself many times. We try to push too hard because, again, it's a faith thing. And I'm not talking about whatever religion you are. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about having faith in yourself. And then when you can do that, and this is why I love these, because it's just conversations. I get to show up just as me. Sometimes I get a little bit excited over it's just me. But it's allowed. It's okay. I'm allowed to show up as me. The good, the bad, the ugly.
Totally.
And it's all okay. And it's all okay. And I think it is empowering for other people to realize that, yes, I don't have to put on this. I used to host for the Icons of Real Estate. And previous to that, my hair was all braided and pinks and things like that. And I thought, I've got to look more corporate. I'm dealing in real estate now. Again, you're not showing up as your authentic self. I still haven't got the pink braids back in. I'm back to being me. And I'm okay with that. I don't have to show up as this corporate image because that's not who I am. If you are, great. Show up as that. But you've got to show up as your authentic self. And I think that's just great advice for everybody. And so what I'm taking from this conversation is, guys, just trust yourself. Trust your own intuition. Listen to that inner voice, that inner calling. Don't feel pushed in multiple directions if you don't enjoy doing it. I know there's some things in our business that we're always going to have to do that we don't necessarily enjoy doing, like my books. But it's something that I've got to do, right? And the rest of it, just allow. Be less pushy. The more you try and push, you push the sale away. When you can actually just allow it in. I love that. Fantastic advice. Fantastic advice.
And I have another thing around trusting. When we want to expand and when there are things that, oh, I need to do this and I don't like this. And often it can feel scary to invest then, like getting your team then. But I'd almost always recommend to get your team before you are ready. Get someone to help you before you are ready. And I know there's money crisis and so on, but it allows your body to expand. If you were going to buy books or you were going to buy a big piece of furniture, you need to have place in your house to be able to keep that. The same way your body has to have capacity to be able to hold that next version of you. So you need to build that capacity. You bring that first. Your capacity is your time, your energy, how much you can do. And of course, like the price at which you are offering. So sometimes your price could be very low and then you're repelling, because if your price is very low, then your body is thinking, gosh, to meet my aim, to meet my 10,000 I'm just making numbers up right now, that to have $10,000 a month, I'd need to serve probably 1,000 clients if my price is low. And then your body shuts down and you wonder why your business is not working. That's because you haven't managed your capacity. Your capacity is how much will you be able to do? How much can your body handle? And a combination of your price and time.
There you go. I couldn't agree more. You can't do it all by yourself. And look at any successful business, it's not a one-man band. So if you do want to grow, you want to go to that next level, you're not going to do it by yourself. And it will be so much easier if you remove some of the tasks that aren't as important. There's different levels, isn't there? Are they business growth tasks? Or are they things in the background that still need to get done, but it's not really bringing you any money? So it is about prioritizing, and your time is precious. Like you said, we don't want to be working 24/7 and know when you've got the time off to be exhausted, so you can't enjoy it with your family. What is the point? What is the point? So look, I'm sure there'll be listeners out there that are thinking, yeah, I know I'm a little bit stuck. I know there's stuff that I need to clear. So what should the listeners do next, Kanika?
If you're wanting to get a little bit more clarity about where you are at in your situation, you want to get some practical tips, then I'd love to offer a breakthrough call with you. I'll sit down with you and help you with some clear recommendations on what you can do straight away to start attracting your clients, to start operating from ease. So you can reach out to me at artoflifecenter.com/call, and I'd love to help you.
Fantastic. And if you didn't quite catch that, don't worry. Go back to the show notes. Kanika's details will be in there. And lastly, Kanika, you guest on podcasts quite a lot. And can you share with the audience any big wins that you have had through being a guest?
Oh, yeah. Like podcasts have been amazing. This is my way of offering. This is one place where I love to share, but I also feel that I feel very energized. So it's that balance for me. So it's amazing. And I found good clients from listening to podcasts because podcasts allow you for that long form conversation where people can really get to know you. They can understand your philosophies without having to try it out. They understand a little bit more in depth about you. So it's been a very good platform for me.
Fantastic. And so if you had your own podcast, what do you think you'd call it?
I have a podcast called the Art of Life podcast, and I'm talking a lot around growth, embodiment, visibility, all the blocks that we have around that. But I call it it is called Art of Life because it's literally about living life.
Awesome. Well, you got that, listeners. You're already listening to podcasts, so go and check that out. Kanika, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you today. Thank you so much for your time. And to the listeners, I'll be back next week with the Podcast Profits Unleashed podcast. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to today's episode on the Podcast Profits Unleashed podcast. If you're